Please be seated. Good evening. My name is Bridget Gorman. I'm the Dean of Undergraduates, and I would like to welcome you to tonight's 110th commencement. This evening, we will focus on the accomplishments of the class of 2023, both collectively and individually. I know I speak for everyone here tonight when I say that we're excited for this moment of recognition and celebration of the class of 2023. This is also a time when we remember those from the graduating class who have passed away. I would ask you all to rise, if you are able, to pause for a moment of silent meditation in honor of Cameron Sanamo, who is not here to join us tonight. Thank you. Please be seated. I now have the distinct pleasure of introducing a Rice alum who is your chairman of the Board of Trustees, Robert Ladd.
Thank you, Dean Gorman, for that introduction, and thank you for all the great work you do for Rice in your role as Dean of Undergraduates. So good evening, everyone. For our visitors from out of town, welcome to Houston, Texas, welcome to Rice University, and welcome to Rice Stadium. And a special welcome to Ms. Jean-Pierre, who is our commencement speaker tonight. I'll warn you it'll be a little bit warm as you're experiencing, but we wanted to make sure the weather was authentic. As we celebrate this, our 110th commencement, my message tonight is one of gratitude. We are grateful for this wonderful group of soon-to-be Rice graduates and for all of our graduate students who received their degrees this weekend. We are grateful for all who have made Rice University what it is today, especially those people no longer with us. We are grateful for this beautiful campus and our staff who make it so every day. And we are grateful for all of our staff, our faculty, many of whom are behind me, and our university leadership. This is also an evening to recognize everyone who has been helpful to our students to make it to this point in their lives. Parents, grandparents, siblings, cousins, friends, many of whom have traveled great distances to be here tonight. You have made the difference for which our students must be grateful. And for our graduates, two messages to pass along. The first message is, you are well prepared. Whether you pursue a career in education, music, medicine, architecture, engineering, science, business, I'm almost done, athletics, to name just a few, our experience has been that when you leave this campus, you are well prepared to excel and compete anywhere. And for those graduates who are pursuing more education at the graduate school level, it will likely be easier than Rice has been. You are well prepared. The second message for our graduates is, stay connected to our university. There are many ways to do that. Just pick one or two. You're the future of this university and can make a difference in making Rice University even greater. Stay connected. Finally, we'll soon reach the completion of President DeRoche's first year as president. This first year has been a year of achievement and growth in many ways, while maintaining an undergraduate experience I am told that is second to none. Our Board of Trustees couldn't be more proud of President DeRoche and what he is accomplishing for Rice University. And now, please stand and recognize the 8th President of Rice University, Reginald DeRoche.
Thank you, Rob. You may be seated. Thank you, Rob. I am Reginald DeRoche, president of Rice University. Many of you out there in cap and gown know me as Reggie. When we made the decision to combine the commencement and graduation ceremonies into one this year, a consequence was shortening the president's remarks, which I know make you very disappointed. So let me get started. Commencement is a time when the university joins together in celebration with the families and friends of our graduates. We welcome you to our campus, and we thank you for lending us these outstanding graduates who have contributed so richly to our community. I am connected to this class of 2023 for numerous reasons. You are my very first graduating class. As you were arriving on campus, I too was new to Rice as a fairly new dean of the School of Engineering before I became provost and now president. We've grown together. I have had the opportunity to engage with and meet many of you through various senior events this year, including the Senior Holiday Party. When you have 400 graduating seniors in your home, you can't help but get close, literally and figuratively. We also have a shared COVID experience. I was just starting as provost when the pandemic struck. It occupied a core part of our years at Rice. Together, we persevered and came out of the pandemic stronger and more resilient as individuals and as a university. And third, it's a special class because how often does a first-year president get to hand out a degree to his baby girl? We are so proud of you, Shelby. Graduates, during your time at Rice, our faculty and our staff have dedicated themselves to nurturing that potential in each of you. And I want to take a moment to thank them for their ongoing support and encouragement. Your accomplishments are also due in part to the dedication, to the loving encouragement, and to the extraordinary support of your family members and friends who have championed each of you. Many of them are here today. To thank them for their support, I would like all of our graduating students to rise, if you are able, and acknowledge what others have done for you. You may be seated. As I mentioned earlier, the class of 2023 is especially unique. Having pursued your Rice degree during a pandemic that shook the way we and the world operated, you undoubtedly were robbed of precious moments to engage with others on campus. Yet, here you stand today, more resilient than ever, and ready to face life with firsthand knowledge that challenges are meant to be hurdled. Your Rice degree, and yes, the rigor of your Rice degree, and the many experiences that accompanied it from outside the classroom have positioned you to transform lives. These experiences range from participating in athletics and engaging in one of our 200+ clubs, to working in a lab and volunteering in our great city of Houston. Because of these experiences, you are adaptable, resilient, empathetic team players with superpowers to change the world. With these superpowers comes responsibility. Because in addition to what this degree means to you, know that you have the power to transform lives and the world around you. Whether you become involved in life-saving research, new business and entrepreneurial endeavors, educational and civic initiatives, or thought-provoking arts projects, trust me when I say you will change the world, just like the Rice alums that came before you. I challenge you to continue to push yourself. Try new things. Get outside of your comfort zone. Do things that are exceptionally hard and perhaps uncomfortable. This is when you will grow intellectually and emotionally. Many of you have expressed mixed emotions about graduating, calling it bittersweet. You've talked about how much you will miss Rice and the excitement and nervousness of what awaits you beyond the hedges. My hope is that in exploring new avenues outside these hedges, you will remember that you are never alone. Our more than 60,000 living alumni around the world are now part of your extended family. Like you, they share immense pride in Rice and the accomplishments of all its graduates, you now included. We have taught, mentored, and even cajoled you to the best of our abilities and are ready to let you go. As you encounter life's adventures, even with a Rice degree in hand, you will be faced with highs and lows and unexpected twists of fate. So whatever path life takes you on, remember the values that we hold near and dear to us at Rice and that I spoke about in my inauguration just a few months ago. Be curious, never stop learning. Be courageous, stand up for what you believe, and be respectful of others. The culture of care we so preciously cherish here is something I hope you will carry with you as you go out into the world. If you do so, the power to transform the world around you will be apparent, meaningful, and true. In closing, all of us at Rice are thrilled to be part of your celebration. We applaud your persistence, your incredible talent, your achievements, and your aspirations. I know that I speak for my fellow faculty and staff that you inspire us. We send our best wishes as you embark upon what lies ahead, and we hope it will bring you back to campus many times, and not just for beer bike. And we look forward to welcoming you when you return, and we say to the great class of 2023, congratulations.
Our next speaker is Gabby Franklin. Gabby is the outgoing president of the Student Association and a junior from Brown College. She is a computer science and English major, and throughout her time at Rice, Gabby has been a staunch advocate for creating an inclusive and equitable campus. Please join me in welcoming Gabby Franklin.
Hello, class of 2023. It is an honor to speak before you today. First off, congratulations! You finally made it to the end. Now, I probably shouldn't tell you this, but the truth is, I had a lot of trouble figuring out what to say. I mean, the congratulations were easy, but the incredible hours you put in, the tribulations you faced, and the friendships you forged, those were much harder to find the words for. Seriously, you are the last class to experience campus before COVID, the first class to define what the new normal at Rice is, and you are full of the most accomplished, smart, and determined people I have ever known. Many of you are the first faces we saw at O-Week, the ones who guided us through some of our most difficult times, and the people who helped us find new talents and strengths we didn't know we had. I know, for me at least, many of you have done that and are honestly the best friends I could ever hope to have. So we definitely don't say this enough, but you did great work during your time at Rice. Thank you. During your time here, you have not only built up yourselves, but a new future. You succeeded in an academically and socially rigorous environment. You brought your voices to the table in one of the most difficult periods in history, and you brought back the traditions that defined Rice in a new era. I'm proud to be able to spend one more year here in the legacy you made. So, thank you, class of 2023, for the hard work you've done. I believe in you and can't wait to see what you're going to do next.
It is my pleasure to now introduce our commencement speaker, Karine Jean-Pierre. A pioneering voice in American politics who got her start as a grassroots activist, Corinne was born to Haitian parents in Martinique before moving with her family to Queens, New York at the age of 5. Corinne is the first person of color, the first gay woman, and the first immigrant to hold the position of White House press secretary. A longtime advisor to President Joe Biden, Corinne has served in a variety of senior communications and political roles in his administration and that of former President Barack Obama, including Biden's 2020 presidential campaign and on Biden's staff when he was vice president. Before joining Biden's 2020 campaign, she served as Chief Public Affairs Officer for MoveOn and as a political analyst with NBC and MSNBC. Corinne worked as a regional political director for the White House Office of Political Affairs during the Obama administration and served as Deputy Battleground States Director for Obama's 2012 re-election campaign. A graduate of Columbia University, Corinne has also worked at the Center for Community and Corporate Ethics, where she pushed major companies to reform their business practices. In 2019, she published a political memoir, Moving Forward, a story of hope, hard work, and the promise of America. Like many of you, Corinne has broken barriers to get to where she is today. This part of her story was especially attractive to me and to the members of the student committee who nominated her to be this year's commencement speaker. I'm excited about hosting Corinne in Houston and at Rice. Her message to our graduates will be undoubtedly inspiring, relevant, and authentic. In addition to being a talented press secretary, she was also voted as one of the best dressed at the recent White House Correspondents' Associate dinner last week. She's even stylish in her regalia. Please join me in welcoming Corinne Jean-Pierre.
Wow. Thank you so much for having me here today. And thank you, President DeRoche, for that kind introduction. Never thought that I would hear best dressed, but I'll take it. A little birdie told me that Beyoncé was also considered as commencement speaker, so I'm feeling extra grateful to be here today. That's some tough competition right there. But I'll try my best to live up to the Renaissance tour and not disappoint the Beehive. But first thing, congratulations, class of 2023, on your graduation today. You all have worked so hard to get here, and I hope you can truly celebrate your achievements with your friends, family, and loved ones. Although every graduation is an achievement, your path has been steeper and more difficult than most. Your class was just wrapping up your freshman year when COVID emerged and changed our world in an instant. Some of you became ill and had to suspend your studies. Others had to tend to sick family members or step in and take care of your younger siblings when childcare was no longer an option. Some had to deal with an incredible pain of losing friends and family to the deadly pandemic. Classes went virtual to the word Zoom. That became part of our shared lexicon. And social activity, a cornerstone of the collegiate experience, was brought to a grinding halt. We all had to adapt to dramatically new circumstances. No matter what end of the political spectrum you identify with, as students, you were witness to one of the most serious threats to our democracy. You've seen the worst of us but you've also seen the best of us. You lived through a moment in history where every day was unprecedented, and you now step into a world rife with new challenges and rich in new opportunities. I want you to know that today is not only an achievement, but also is a testament to your strength, your grit, and your perseverance. You were determined to make it to the finish line, and guess what, class of 2023? You did. Now, Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. told us we must accept finite disappointment, but never lose infinite hope. And through everything we have been through, your class, your generation gives me hope, infinite hope. Hope is one of the most powerful tools we have. Hope is more than an emotion, more than a feeling, and certainly more than a vibe. I know you guys like to use that word, vibe. Hope is a discipline and a practice. For me, hope is a verb. Hope is action. Because when we hope for a better world, we create a better world. Hope shows us change is possible, the simple belief that we can make a difference, no matter how big, unlocks our power to effectuate change. I know the power of hope because I wouldn't be here today, standing in front of you today, if my parents hadn't hoped for a better future for their family. So hope is action. My parents grew up in Haiti, the first country in the Western Hemisphere where enslaved people overthrew their colonizers to create the first ever independent country of free people. The Haitian Revolution inspired other enslaved people, particularly in Latin America, to fight for their freedom. Hope is action. Haiti's history, just like my family's history, is a story of resilience, determination, and hope. My maternal grandfather took care of my mom and her twin sister until they were 5, but at the time, a devastating famine struck the area of Haiti where they were living. My grandfather separated my mom and her sister, making the painful decision to send them both to different families who adopted them. My mother's family treated her like a servant to their biological children rather than a child of their own. She lost contact with her twin sister, only to find out later she had passed away. Eventually, in her teenage years, my mom met my father. They got married. My dad was a teacher in Port-au-Prince. As their relationship was starting to grow, Haiti turned into a brutal dictatorship led by Francois Duvalier, known as Papa Doc, and later his son, Jean-Claude. It was an awful period for the revolutionary country. Under the dictatorship, my parents' freedoms were limited, but their hope couldn't be. They had no say over the direction of their country, but fought for a say over their future of their family. They knew they wanted their children to have a better life, so they plotted to go to Martinique, where they hoped they'd eventually be able to go to the United States. It was there where I was born. After moving to Martinique, my family got the chance to move to France and then finally to the United States. The story of Haiti's creation runs in my family's veins. Haiti is a country of people who fought for a better life and continue to fight for a better life after 2 centuries. My parents, true to their roots, resisted the limits of being placed on their freedoms, their families, and their futures. But even after America welcomed us to a country that we aspired to be, our struggles didn't suddenly disappear. My father got a job as a New York City taxi driver and woke up at 4 o'clock in the morning every day to make it to the John F. Kennedy International Airport to be in line, the taxi cab line, when the first international flights of the day started landing. My mom worked multiple jobs to help keep us afloat. She worked as a home healthcare aide 6 days a week and managed a hair salon on the weekends. And of course, they were both raising me and my 2 younger siblings, trying to give us the best education they could. They scraped by, never able to take a break, just so that I could eventually catch mine. But one day, we were able to catch a break. We had applied for citizenship, and finally our time had come. My dad and I passed the test to become naturalized citizens more than a decade after arriving in the US, and more than 2 decades after my father left Haiti. Years after escaping a violent, punitive dictatorship, my dad regained his voice in his new country. His new country's future, his new country's elections. And there was no way he'd be silent. He was not going to remain silent. At the first possible chance after gaining our citizenship, my dad and I went to the polls. It was a small local election. I can't even remember what it was all about, but I'll never forget the moment itself. For the first time in decades, my dad had the chance to vote in an election to make his voice heard. Now, there are other ways to make a difference in your community, of course, but voting is special. He was finally a citizen who could one day vote for the very president that I now serve. The president who appointed me the first openly gay, immigrant, Black, and person of color press secretary, exactly 1 year ago yesterday. I want to just sit there for a second. I am the face of the most powerful political person in the world. Just think about that. So my parents' story is proof. It is proof that change is possible. But that story also attests to the fact that change doesn't come to those who merely want it. It comes to those who work for it. Because hope is action. My mom hoped for a better life for herself, so she escaped her childhood to go to a city with more opportunity. Hope is action. When my parents wished for a better life for us, they moved countries and cultures, not once, but twice, to give my siblings and I a shot at a better future. Hope is action. Believing that education would unlock new horizons, my parents worked hard jobs and even harder hours to make sure my siblings and I got the education we needed. Hope is action. The education is what enabled me to eventually serve in the White House, not once, but twice. And is why I am standing here today in front of all of you. Because hope is action. Now, this hallowed institution is a testament that change driven by hope is always within our grasp. William Marsh Rice used his fortune to found what is now known as Rice University, but his fortune was built on the backs of the enslaved people he owned. And he insisted that this school would only serve the white men and women of Houston. But today, Rice University is open to all and welcomed its first Black president, DeRoche. It's located in Houston, as you all know, the most diverse city in the country. And the Rice class of 2026 has no single ethnic or racial majority. The story of Rice University and my story stand with the principle that is, world is malleable, and we are the ones with the power to transform it. But only if we are willing to take the chance. Hoping for more is not naive. Don't let anybody tell you that. It is brave. We choose to hope. We aren't ignorant of all the obstacles in our way. We are simply choosing to say, I know the road ahead will be long, so I better start the walking. Because hope is action. Hope is not blind optimism. It's not ignoring the enormity of the task ahead or the roadblocks that stand in our path. It's not sitting on the sidelines or shirking from a fight. Hope is that thing inside of us that insists, despite all evidence to the contrary, that something better awaits us if we have the courage to reach for it and to work for it and to fight for it. Hope is the belief that destiny will not be written for us, but by us, by the men and women who are not content to settle for the world as it is, who have the courage to remake the world it should be. Now, those words that I just read to you all came from the man who gave me the opportunity to jump from working in local politics to national politics, President Barack Obama. And I believe that they are just as true today as they were when he said it 15 years ago. They inspired me to take a leap in my career and take a risk. Those words are why, while I may be the first, I want to ensure I will not be the last. That's right. They changed my life and they inspire me now. Hope is action. To the class of 2023, you have already made me so hopeful. For the things you have already accomplished and all that you have yet to achieve, you've not only survived reckonings with global pandemic, the fight to preserve our democratic institutions, and the battle to name and shame bigotry and racism in all of its forms. You forced the world to re-examine how it looks at itself. You've created an atmosphere where hope can not only grow, but thrive. You ask the tough questions and demand better for others. You are our future and have created an ecosystem where hope doesn't just live, it thrives. Today, you're graduating from one of the most prestigious institutions in the world for higher learning. What an achievement! Your road has been long, but here is something that I do believe that I can share, something that I'm partially qualified to give advice on. Do not allow hardships, personal or existential, to become a barrier to your ability to look ahead with hope. Rather, embrace the challenge and take the building blocks of lessons you've learned during your most trying times, times you wanted to quit or run away or thought the path ahead was just too dark to even attempt to find the light. Take these experiences with you, embrace them, and use your experience to face the challenges ahead. Because you are more than capable. You are enough. Your past is the proof of that. Getting to this point, graduation day, is a validation that even if you've fretted about your future or struggled with your past, you've still chosen to move forward, to hope. And that hope is action. My path hasn't always been easy. It has had finite disappointment, but it has been defined by infinite hope. It's been forged through the sheer power of will of not just myself, but the foundation of my parents and their parents and the revolutionaries of Haiti. I stand before you today because my parents hoped. The country of their birth hoped. The country they adopted hoped. And I hoped. I'm going to end where I started, with Beyoncé, of course. She said, "Don't try to lessen yourself for the world. Let the world catch up to you." Class of 2023, don't ever lessen yourself. Stay hopeful, and remember, hope is action. But for today, celebrate. You have more than earned it. And don't forget to thank the people who hoped for you and helped you along this journey, whether they're your parents or your grandparents or your aunties or your uncles or your sisters or your brothers, your professors, your coaches, your teachers growing up, or your friends. Always thank them because they've earned this too. Congratulations. I cannot wait to see what you all continue to accomplish. Thank you.
Please join me in thanking our speaker one more time. Thank you, Corinne. Now I'd like to take a moment to recognize some of this year's award winners. The Graham C. Stebbings College Service Award is nominated by the College Magisters and Presidents and goes to a student who has made significant contributions to the residential college system at Rice. This year's winner is Chanel Erickson. The Student Association Outstanding Senior Awards are given to graduating seniors who have demonstrated service, dedication, and character. This year's award winners are Asha Malani, Cynthia Gonzalez, Dan Helmecki, Danny Noblock, Jayakar Kohli, Karen Marabodor, Maddie Salinas, Malika Bergner, Marina Parkey, Bonabang Usua, Nick S., and last, Sonia Bagava. The Rice University Service Award in memory of Dean Hugh Scott Cameron is given to individuals, past and present, who have rendered significant service to the student body. This year's winner is Adrian Quant. Finally, the Sally Port Award is given to the undergraduate or graduate candidates who show great promise in carrying forth the mission of the Association of Rice Alumni upon graduation. I am pleased to announce this year's awardee is Catherine Lee. The candidates for various bachelor's degrees will be presented by Professor Bridget Gorman, Dean of Undergraduates, and by the Magisters of the residential colleges.
This 110th plenary commencement ceremony marks the completion of the 2022-2023 academic year. Although we are here to honor the graduates who will be receiving their degrees today, commencement also marks an opportunity to recognize the distinguished faculty, staff, and alumni who have given extraordinary service to Rice University. In your programs are printed the names of those who were selected this year for teaching awards, those named by the colleges, the Student Association, and the Graduate Student Association as recipients of their awards, and those named by the Association of Rice Alumni. 13 Rice faculty will retire at the end of the academic year, along with 57 members of our staff. 14 faculty and staff also passed away this year, and their names are listed in the program. Let us applaud them for their devoted and honorable service. The candidates for the various bachelor's degrees will be presented by the Magisters of the residential colleges. Each year since 1916, Rice has presented and celebrated each degree recipient individually. Tonight, following that long-standing tradition, the candidates for the undergraduate bachelor's degrees will each be announced, presented, and congratulated. By tradition, we will present the candidates one college at a time in the order of the founding of the residential colleges. The names of the candidates for the degrees of Bachelors of Arts, Bachelors of Science, and Bachelors of Music from each college will be read by one of the Magisters of the college. As the Magisters of each college approaches the lectern, I will ask the members of the audience associated with that college to rise and applaud the candidates. At this time, the marshals will assemble the degree recipients from Baker College. The Magisters of Baker College are Luis Duno Gottberg, Professor of Spanish, Portuguese, and Latin American Studies, and Miss Angela Duno. As Professor Duno Gottberg approaches the lectern, will the faculty associates, alumni, parents, and friends of the degree candidates of Baker College please rise and applaud the candidates.
All persons except the candidates from Baker College, please be seated. Marina Karki, Baker President. Chima Adiole. Caleb Ermias Afterward. Josue Naum Alvarenga. Adeline Virginia Armistead. Rodrigo Javier Barquero Rodriguez. Patricia Castillo Bilderbach. Thomas Ling Botko. Wen Yu Chang. Gage David Christensen. Jung Jong Peter Chung. Brian Kui. Abayomi O. Dada. Matthew Dai. Sofia Raquel de Leon Wilson. Ronit Rishi Day. Blanca Esmeralda Diaz Chavez. Hazel Shirna Tecumseh Disney McCann. Javier Angelicus Elizondo. Aman Imed Ayuli. Catherine Rose Garcia. Smarman Garpalti. Brian Sophia Gerwin. Lauren Elizabeth Hampton. Erin Harrison. Journey Chanel Henry. Benjamin Shan Herstein. Spencer Hutlin. Joseph Hu. Connor Lee Hugh. Finn Benjamin Johnson. Hallie Kang. Fadel Shir Khan. Saint Nip. Rosemary Pauline Lash. Edwin Lebron Perez. John Lee. Mi-Jong Jing Lee. Jennifer Ling Lee. Audrey Liu. Janet Chen Liu. Oliver William McGregor. Pranav Vikram Mehta. Claire Olivia Mobed. Jacob Alexander Morgan. Nathan Moskowitz. Aine Kandi Nakajima. David Tukuma Nemoto. Denny Gwen. Ronen Wosteinsen. David Padirna. Gran Parahuli. Forest Point One Park. David Ethan Pichardo. Jose Ramirez. Clayton William Ramsey. Ian Donald Ramsey. Isabel Reynolds. Eric Rodriguez. Benjamin Jeremiah Rosenor. Noah Rossi. Lily Madeleine Cherik Brick. Summer Savannah. Anthony Maxime Shadid. Autumn Smith. Dorothy Soto. Zoe Spitz. Matthew Su. Pooja Marie Vetical. Benjamin William Walls. Hui Peng Wang. Cyrus Washington. Grace Wei. Caitlin Rebecca Worsika. Linda Ling Wu. Jilang Zhu. Emma Rachel Yang. Michelle Elizabeth Yang. Lisa Yusem Castells. Bonnie Sao. David Nathan Sao. Raymond Su. Baker Class of 2023, thank you for sharing your journey with us. Now go there and continue excelling in work, and please remember to do this in solidarity with others. We love you. Please stay in touch. Send us a note, a TikTok, smoke message. We love you. Gracias por todo. Please be seated.
The Magisters of Will Rice College are Matthew Bennett, Professor of Biosciences, and Miss Rebecca Bennett. As Professor Bennett approaches the lectern, will the faculty, associates, alumni, parents, and friends of the degree candidates of Will Rice College Please rise and applaud the candidates.
Will all persons accept the degree candidates from Will Rice College please be seated? Outgoing Will Rice College President, Jayakir Sai Kohli. Elian Hani Akmar. Oluwatanimise Okiki Jesu Akerele. Jeremy Isaac Alpert. Chike Anthony Anibogu. Anna Katerina Arroyos. Parker Edward Beck. India Lanai Bellamy. Joshua Rate Berg. Elizabeth Matson Bickelmeyer. Alvaro Camacho Guadamus. Jessica Tsao. Claire Brooks Castellano. Matthew Castrillon. Chiao Jerry Chan. Caitlin Crowley. Manuel Diaz. William Barrett Dobbs. Samuel Patrick Doran. Margaret Elizabeth Dorsey. Madeline Helena Fowler. David Benjamin Getter. Ariadna Gomez. Alekia Gurham. Abigail Faye Holman. Michaela Bryn Jackson Anderson. Jacob Michael Kaufman. Jordan Elizabeth Killinger. Julia Guan Kim. AJ Shri Kumar. Kwan Nam Le. Catherine Yunchen Lee. Christine Lee. Young Bin Lee. Jonathan Sebastian Charles Lloyd. Lou Liu. Asha Cartini Milani. Ruben Sebastian Marroquin. Mateo David Martinez. Eugenio Dariel Martinez Martinez. Riley Pamela Meave. Michelle Janet Miao. Eric Javier Morales. Emma Riley Moran. Sai Vaishnavi Mova. Margarita Nino. Aiden Ryan Noriega. Nikaz Nazar Omar. Sarah Kim Park. Henry Chin. Noah Elias Rabkin. Paige Avery Russell. Kavya Sani. Mark Christopher Saving. Arjun Seti Olowin. Spencer Thomas Shah. Rishi Vignesh Sridharan. Scarlett Amy Spindler. Alexander Suskind. Henry Woodrow Thurman. Gulnihal Tomer. Hana No Usadi. Shu Guangyu. Ryu Chase Yi. Kevin Shichung Yin. Marcy Zier. Daihan Zheng. Anita Zhou. To Will Rice College Class of 2023, on behalf of the entire A-Team, we love you more than you know. Now go into the world and do good deeds. Please be seated.
The Magisters of Hanson College are Fabiola Lopez Duran, Associate Professor of Art History, and Mr. Carlos Martinez Rivera. As Associate Professor Duran approaches the lectern, will the faculty associates, alumni, parents, and friends of the degree candidates of Hanson College please rise and applaud the candidates.
All persons except the candidates from Hansen College, please be seated. President of Hansen College, Danny Knobloch. Sawyer Archer. Truman Archer. Katie Balbrack. Andrew Barber. Elliot Baird. Adam Bobak. Kieran Boyd. Michaela Brown. Ben Burstein. Roscoe Botzel. Brett Bossi. Antonio Caballero Sánchez. Bianca Chen. Ining Chen. Charlotte Cohen. Luna Cortelezzi. Temilade Dada. Sam DiCaprio. Colter Decker. Corey Donovan. Cici Du. Dia El Jardi. Alex Elkin. Ibrahim Qasim El Chakabi. John Erdogan. Joseph Antonio Flores. Lee Gabrieli. Jesús Galván. Jenny Gao. Shang Gao. Saya Birup Govindu. Anthony Gusso. Diep Bunob Huang. Audrey Elizabeth Jokema. Ella Goit. Chloe Herr. Corny Kanja. Ryan Knightley. Sini Koibu. Heather Hong. Piyusha Kundu. Luis Leal. Andrew Lee. Iron Lin. Lara Lin. Yao Yan Lu. Aurian Maleki. Aemi Sai Malay. Sarah Mansfield. Caroline Gray Marinelli. Michelle Martinez. Jose Mata Esqueda. Nana Mensa Bonsu. Ho Mustakakis. Ananda Lahari Nandigam. Yerin Ashley No. Wally Odom. Quincy Oliveri. Amber Petrie. Jonathan Pauls. Tanush Prejapati. Sofía Prieto. Ginny Shan. Sikien Bill Shan. Cole Rapson. Jania Rom. Arvin Ramesh. Zach Rivolinsky. Oscar Reynoso. Andrea Rivas. Carlos Rivera. Juan Manuel Rubio. Ann Robsamen. Jeffrey Salgado. Phoebe Yaon Lin Skasha. Daniel Sugar. Mark Shen. Jonathan Shen. Grace Elizabeth Stewart. Mabel Tang. David Tarte. Vinay Sai Tumarakora. Madhu Beken Tesalu. Divya Bekenteshev. Ari Wilker. Joanna Wang. Nasha Wanishway Sha Ruan Ruan. Andre Lance Wansen. Owen Wright. Claire Shu. Aaron Young. Derek Young. Matthew Young. And Jason Shu. Hansen Class of 2023, thank you for this fascinating journey together. We learned so much from each of you. On behalf of your age team, our heartfelt congratulations. Please be seated.
The Magisters of Weiss College are Flavio Cunha, Irvin K. Zingler Chair and Professor of Economics, and Ms. Fabiana Santos. As Professor Cunha approaches the lectern, will the faculty associates, alumni, parents, and friends of the degree candidates of Weiss College please rise and applaud the candidates.
Hey, Weiss! President of Weiss College, Kirsty Leach. Chidima Alilonu, Adrian Almi, Diana Alvarado, Rambod Azarbad, Alizé Azim, Anna Bai, Wes Barnett, Nathan Berggren, Roberto Brevi, Debralian Carroll, Nathan Claytor, Madeline Cluck, Corbin Cowden, Andrea Dayan, Audrey Dygard, Thurston Devon, Hongkai Ding, Vivian Ellis, Elliot Fang, Fabiola Flores Salazar, Paul Glensky, Elijah Gonzalez, Cousin Guo, Sarah Han, Alina Holberg, Stephanie Hugh, Isaiah Huang, Grace Ishimwe, Ridwana Islam, Ishan Kamat, Saketh Kata, Mazia Kevad Darian, Satasha Kosteleki, Thomas Kovac, Ryan Key, Andrew Lee, Christian Leva, Grant Levesque, Jake Liepert, Caitlin Liu, Chloe Livingston, Charles Lucier, Radha Malhotra, Max McWilliams, Pranay Mittal, Ben Moffat, Cole Moore, Aditi Narwane, Hajara Naveed, Richard Omotosho, Vaidya Parthasarati, Vinay Patalachiti, Gabi Perez, Serena Pham, Alana Pickens, Alex Pruka, Jenny Pruitt, Ali Puraganan, Adrian Regalado, Bria Romero, Maritni Viore Sanclou, Campbell Salmon, Jamie Samojevny, Mark Shara, Ana Victoria Serna Moyeda, Amita Shekhar, Julia Shi, Miles Siegel, Zoe Sun, Alicia Sawadi, Corey Tolbert, Bonabong Usua, Gerardo Veja, Jared Giovanni Verdejo, Alejandra Wagnon, Edward Walker, Ashley Wu, Rachel Warmbrand, Hannah Young, Boyan Yu, Julian Zeidenstein, Ariana Jung, Gavin Jung, Michael Zhu. Weiss College thanks Ewart Jones for 10 years as amazing college coordinator. Matthew Sheets.
The Magisters of Jones College are Zachary Ball, Professor of Chemistry, and Ms. Tricia Ball. As Professor Ball approaches the lectern, will the faculty associates, alumni, parents, and friends of the degree candidates of Jones College please rise and applaud the candidates.
All persons except the candidates from Jones College, please be seated. Jones President, Daniel K. Helmsey. Carl Knipe Abramson. Okikolua Yatunde Adabale. Hafsa Asun. Mahmoud Almadi. Cameron Bacchus Larde. Hunana Badat. Madison Taylor Bell. Cami Lee Botot. Mary Brady. Juan Cano Duenas. Savannah Eve Karen. Christopher Chen. Milan Chopra. Christina Mia Crasas. Nicholas David Dominguez. Max Burning Fiedler. Fiona Garrison. Liam Garrison. Thomas Michael Gill. Joseph Eric Joya. Harry Jacob Golan. Andrea Gomez. Douglas Graham. Lucy Catherine Gruber. Yanni Shannon Guo. Samuel Hadgu. Shungzi Hong.
Thank you, President.
Sarah Ann Herring. Amy Lynn Ho. Jackson Rhett Armstrong Jeffcoat. Allison Johnson. Daniel Ulian Joshua. Nana Kwesi Konadu. Chelsea Lee. Perry Lynn. Terry Jean Esther Liu. Samantha Jean Lowe. Jati Liu. Olivia Lynn Malone. Abrar Fahim Mamoun. Sujay Marasetti. William Wise Martinez. Wyeth Michael Coons McKinley. Warda Ahmed Mohammed. Matthew Reed Oshima Myers. Raya Joy Myron. Vignesh Nalia. Georgia Isabel Nevin. Lynn Wynn. V. Wynn. Alexis Brian Te Nicholas. Kwame Kufor Intim. Michael O. Sarah Preston. Anna Rajagopal. Yesenia Ramos Silva. Sophia Rose Riley. Reagan Allen Riddle. Peter David Riera Tapia. Sophia Elena Roa Febres. Adam Renee Rokitsky. Juan Roman Jr. Caitlin Ryan Salmon. Matthew Santos. Ana Maria Salcedo. Delaney Schultz. Prithvi Kiran Shakar. J. Henry Schisler. Brian Andrew St. John. Neha Talapragada. Joseph Richard Urso. Theodore Marie Baptiste Vado. Komal Nasiruddin Virani. Tiffany Mafuang Vong. Grace Nicole Walters. Xiaoping Wang Jr. Lily Marie Weeks. Christine Alicia Wu. Juyang Xiong. Daphne Yang. Seichan Yoon. Mingde Jung. Candy Zhao. Stephen Zhao. Did I miss? And also Meg Yunjia Nu. Sorry. All right. To the Jones class of 2023, thank you for your leadership, for your energy, and for welcoming Tricia and I into the community. Congratulations and best wishes for the future.
The Magisters of Brown College are B.J. Fregley, Professor and Seipert Scholar in Cancer Research of Mechanical Engineering and Bioengineering, and Ms. Shirley Fregley. As Professor Fregley approaches the lectern, will the faculty, associates, alumni, parents, and friends of the degree candidates of Brown College please rise and applaud the candidates.
Will all persons, except the candidates from Brown College, please be seated? Brown College President Danish Sheikh. Sophia Aguilera. Benjamin Baker Katz. Maxwell Allen Bender. Lucian Anthony Sky Bennett Grant. Christopher B. Virginia Braddock. Mia Cosette Breakbill. Andrea Cedillo Ornelas. Jesse Chun. Adam James Chu. Suman Michelle Choi. Justice Kruti McCullum. Nahom Demek Dognachu. Lorelei Diane Deering. Ashley Thum An Zwang. Christian Durante. Grace Ann Freeman. Anna Fry. Grace Yang Gu. Catherine Elaine Grimmy. Linquan Gua. Sophie Hafner. Thomas Andrew Hamry. Hunter Donald Hanley. Alexander Ian Hernandez. Caillou Anthony Hernandez. Audrey Ho. David Zui Wong. Gauri Mukunda Iyengar. Laura Margaret Jobber. Angus Wild Yelenick. Jerry Miles Johnson. Annette Jean Jones. Andrew Philip Bernard Joyner. Robert Lee Kenworthy. Serena Jian Kim. Grace Catherine Neidl. Sayun Chloe Khan. Poom Krit Pracha. Alexis Blair Lafort, Michael Daniel Lee, Yewan Lee, Adrian Lee, Kai-Chun Lua, Jasmine Michaela Manansala, Emily Ruth McCamus, Jay Mehta, Charlie Mendes, Amelia Margarita Moncayo Reyes, Christelle Morenci, Mackenzie Caitlin Pickett, Joshua Warren Ramirez, Karina Romero, Nicholas Craig Rossi, Madeline Ariel Salinas, Gargi Samarth, Arnav Sankaranthi, Emma Kaylee Scales, Nicholas Soria, Andrea Tager Bayeska, Emma Carolina Tiblier, Dylan Ike Ueyama Burke, Ananya Krishna Vaidya, V. Bo, Divya Vinay Wag, Zuwen Wong, Bria Taylor Weiss, Jeremiah Elise Wilson, Michael Mengistu Woldab, Jefferson Shia, Tiffany Siong, Ye Hao Tian, Adam Darius Xaviaruja, and Angela Zhang. Brown College, it's been wonderful having the opportunity to serve as your magisters. On behalf of the entire A-Team, congratulations to the class of 2023. We love you all. Please stay in touch, and we look forward to hearing about your future endeavors. BSWB! Please be seated.
The Magisters of Lovett College are Michael Gustin, Professor of Biosciences, and Ms. Denise Klein. As Professor Gustin approaches the lectern, will the faculty associates, alumni, parents, and friends of the degree candidates of Lovett College please rise in applause of the candidates.
All persons except the candidates from Lovett College, please be seated. Hey, Lovett. Outgoing president of Lovett, Nick S. Alexander Douglas Abbott. Mateo Jun-Young An. Haley Cassandra Allen. Dania Al-Karawi. Armando Serapio Amador. Arnav Amruth. Freddie Andres Angarita Cuesta. Thomas Anthony Avalos. Jennifer Lynn Bechtold. Oran Bian. Maria Buden. Melissa Guadalupe Carmona. Kevin Chang. Benjamin Tzu-Yen Chow. Joseph Armando Chavez. Neil Chopra. Anna Yumi Chung. Daniel Alec Cohen. Caitlin Keone Crossway. Sarah Nicole Dowlick. David Davison. Bill Dang. Yanela Paulina Diaz. Abigail Grace Douse. Ryan McLean Draper. Charles Raymond Dial. Nida Fatima. Garrett Reed Gale. John Gullion. Anushka Gupta. Luke Hahn. Hunter Minson Hardy. Joshua Alberto Harper. Christopher Hernandez Sanchez. Alexander Robert Hogue. Kelly Huang. Michaela Catherine Hurley. Nisa Ilson. Pranil Joshi. Michael Patrick Kelly. Ryan Kelly. Jessica Nicole Keys. Eugene Kim. Esther Lee. Asher Lanzone. Latan Lieber Coates. Kelly Liu. Singing Winnie Liu. Timothy Michael Louis. Tsuya Wen Mao. Shiloh Eve Miller. Myron Morrison. Benjamin Erickson Murdoch. Rani Anjanasi Naluri. Jashawn Alexander Palmer. Saswat Pati. Mark Pepperell. Juliana V. Bond. Gideon James Pill. Sahithi Priya Puvala. Zoe Jian. Adrian Alexandra Quant. Hannah Alia Abdul Rahman. Raul Reyes. Taylor Jane Rowe. Pete Siri Thadachai. William Slatton. Isaac Henry Stetcher. Julia Anjali Su. Yumin Su. Adarsh Suresh. Minote Tadessa. Andrew Wei Tang. Michael Chia Chang. Alexa Blake Thomases. Jing Wang. Rachel Angela Wang. Connor Michael Williams. Samuel Roy Woodley. Georgina Lourdes Woodworth. Alicia Wei Wu. Alicia Wu. Umbreen Sarah Eunice. Lilia Suying Zhang. Ziha Zhao. Isabel Gao Zhou. Congratulations, Love It 2023. On behalf of the OWL team, we love you all and are excited for your future. Stay in touch with each other and with Rice. Thank you.
The Magister of Sid Richardson College is Melissa Marshall, Professor of Political Science. As Professor Marshall approaches the lectern, will the faculty associates, alumni, parents, and friends of the degree candidates of Sid Richardson College please rise and applaud the candidates.
All persons except the candidates from Sid Richardson College, please be seated. Sid Richardson College President, Cynthia Adriana Gonzalez. Victor Manuel Alvarez. Joseph S. Fury. Ryan Blankenberg. Jack Bradley. Bree Bumgardner. Alyssa Bernadette Cahoy. Saloni Cholia. Darren Yavuz Chiropjiolu. Benjamin Henry Decker. Shelby Teresa DeRoche. Jenna Diab. Corina Doe. Travis Dowd. Franco Luciano Dragizovich. Elise Marie Erickson. Oladi Pupo. Ope Folawa Fagbongbi. James Fuentes Segunda. Taylor Nicole Gilliam. Rob Haddon Gonzalez. Jack Baskin Gray. Andrew Graziano. Trisha Gupta. Tanya Juggin. Giovanni Johnson McCrae. Manal Khan. Catherine Lee Kirkpatrick. Ekram Aaron Kizilkaya. Sarah Sunhee Ko. Sarah Kong. Julia Kustecki. Ethan Kropp. Evan Bryce Lenkite. Nadav Livanani. Michael Lee. Angela Lynn. Gianni Lowe. Renly Lowe. Charlotte T.A. Lowe. Rusty Warren Lugwigson. Jacob Felix Lurvy. Suri Ma, Stephanie Martinez, Maria Alejandra Mora, Taylor Meyer, Sun Nguyen, Yihan Nu, Sue O, Miriam Adarina Sola Okunubi, Halit Oskaya, Jenny Hyung Park, Robert James Rabbit, Robert Augustus Ragland IV, Alexis Sophia Rosette Robertson, Sophia Grace Rowlett, Emma Elizabeth Saving, Ashe Shaw, Ethan Shaw, Adam Sheriff, John Caleb Shea, Colleen McLean Skinner, Ezra Packard Smith, Zulay Song, Anika Sonig, Nathan Spindler Krag, Savannah Jean Tiemann, Priya Nikita Trakru, Emily Wang, Max Wang, Mei Monina Williams, Clyde Zhu, Eric Yang, Caitlin Strojecki, Andrew Zhang, Frida Zhang, Samuel Zhou, Mingjiang Zhu. Sid Richardson, class of 2023, it's been a pleasure getting to know you. On behalf of the entire A-team, may you go forth joyfully and with kindness. Be great citizens. Congratulations. Please be seated.
The Magisters of Martel College are Daniel Dominguez da Silva, Associate Professor of History, and Ms. Livia Dominguez. As Professor Dominguez approaches the lectern, will the faculty associates, alumni, parents, and friends of the degree candidates of Martel College please rise and applaud the candidates.
All persons except the candidates from Martel College, please be seated. Past President Kasley Rose Matthews. Past President Austin Thomas Hoshawa. Mark Anthony Abu. David Aye. Danyar Akizhnov. Neha Ali. Danielle Louise Argueta, Brianna Bennison, Malika Joy Bergner, John Philip Bodnar, Bradley Robert Bolton, Max Axel Bowman, Diego Casanova, Jose Guadalupe Castillo, Akaya Chambas, Edward Kiwe Chang, Jessica Tiango Chang, Diego de la Fuente, Isabela de la Iglesia, Ling de Balles, Cameron Wu Jiao, Clara Duan, Timofey Efimov, Brendan K. Formal, Grace Elizabeth Forbes, David Friedman, Alexander Samuel Friedman, Bei Takuma Fujimoto, Annie Gao, Isha Guy, Victoria Lynn Gonzalez, Ji Mei Sonia He, Will Travis Heston, Oliver Sebastian Hart Sierra, Kate Susanna Jablonski, Jennifer Jha, Akash Koranan, Danielle Nicole Kiranen, Ho Kim, Bridget Jean Lee, James Liu, Alan Lopez, Tushar Mahesh, Allison Mary Maniaci, Savannah Lexine May, Rogelio Francisco Montemayor, Garrett Lang Murphy, Isabella Cristina Nachev, Zaina Diaz, Ankit Patel, Vedant Patwari, Joshua Cornell Percy, Stephanie Picot, Ethan Ray Perryman, Emilia Pichon, Stella Nicole Potinkin, Nathan David Powell, Bhavan Ragash Rajan, Iliad Rafael Risman Tremonte, Nathan Armando Rivera, Danielle Botros Risk, Ayush Sachdeva, Christian Isam Salamat, Francis Maxwell Sampson, Lindsay Eleanor Shern, Braden Thomas Shklauti, Shreya Ankit Shaw, Ashka Mirav Sheth, Jinhee Shin, Rachel Anna Shoemaker, Thomas Patrick Thurland II, C.W. Thompson, Madeline Hinkwan Tong, William Lee Wang, Doug Welsh, Emily Iris Wolf, Doris Lingyi Xu, Elaine Zhang, Caitlin Zhang. Congratulations, Martellians. We are very proud of you, and we can't wait to see what you're going to do next. Enjoy life after school. The best is yet to come. Please be seated.
Filling in tonight for the Magisters of McMurtry College is Sergio Chavez, Associate Professor of Sociology and Resident Faculty Associate at McMurtry College. As Professor Chavez approaches the lectern, will the faculty associates, alumni, parents, and friends of the degree candidates of McMurtry College please rise and applaud the candidates.
All persons except the candidates of McMurtry College, please be seated. President Hunter Clayton Brown, Carla E. Alcala Orozco, Prince Alino, Manin Bajaj, Rajpal Singh Bal, Joseph Barber, Sanya Bhargav, Pratik Boyela, Garrett Joseph Braden, Jarrett Ethan Butler, Connor Elizabeth Caldwell, Eddie Castillo, Jasmine Castillo, Connor Cone Tchaikovsky, Mimi Chang, Catherine Chen, Frank Cheng, Daniel Cho, Sana Jane Christensen, Chloe Amy Corbett, Max Davis Cunningham, Jonathan Seth de la Cruz, Fadil Faisal Eladuth, Julia Paige Engelhart, Chanel Erickson, Angela Ling Van, Morgan A. Gage, Ellis Gao, Santos Luis Garcia, Vanessa Garlep, Justin Aria Gilek, Jacqueline Ann Hatch, Dylan Oliver McCaster Heap, Joe Hernandez, Caleb Hesita, Andrew Hook, Jimmy E.J. Wang, Ryan Tristan Huckleberry, George A. Hung, Shreyan Jen, Cameron Scott Jones, Remy Aaron Kulai, Pratik Kalva, Ellen Kazdraze, Ines Hansen Curley, Brandon Keck, Elizabeth Reynolds Coleman, Matthew Stone Lane, Alhalia Barbara Lentenberger. Nicole Lou Willier. Eric J.U. Lee. Richard Albert Lin. Ryan Alexander Lipscomb. Julia Frances Love. Isabella Jean McBride. Joshua Joseph Miller III. Cristina Virgilia Montes. Jocelyn Sayasi Munoz Salcedo. Anika Numbiar. Jillian Sarah Schwartz. Jordan No. Miles Brandon Nobles. Jaehyun Sarah Park. Mansi Patel. Chang Peng. Singru Poltana Watsit. Jean Rue. Jaden Ann Marie Roberts. Kendall L. Robertson. Sarah Anahita Salvatore. Sharon Santirasagaran. Aman Raman Chandra Shanbag. Cindy Sheng. Bazin Sinashau. Elliot Hutton Solomon. Yulia Suprun. Annabelle Zoe. Jeffrey Alejandro Vanegas. Camille Francesca Villar. Cortez Dante Walters. Karen Wong. Tate Garrett Ward. Grace Lillian Waterman. Crystal Bell Westheimer. Esther Ruth Whitney. Austin Drew Wilding. Joseph Michael Woodward. Catherine P. Wu. Kelly Shu. Joshua Miller William Yang. Christine Yuan. Emily Zhou. Sophia Zhou. Lisa Zhu. Brandon Lee Zimmer. McMurtry College of 2023. We love you and we'll miss you. Please stop by.
The Magisters of Duncan College are Eden King, Lynette S. Autry, Professor of Psychology, and Dr. Winston Liao. As Professor King approaches the lectern, will the faculty associates, alumni, parents, and friends of the degree candidates of Duncan College please rise and applaud the candidates.
All persons except the candidates from Duncan College, please be seated. President of Duncan College, Catherine Gonzalez. Tristan Alanis. Pablo Andres Alarcon Bonilla. Ashley Austin. Jean Ho Ban. Isis Burgos. Maria Antonia Bustillo. Zara Mahogany Butler. Anissa Castorina. Susie Chang. Peyton Chang. Sumner Colohan. Aiden Cullen. Vanya Ding. Jacob Duplantis. Travis Evie. Fayez Farouk. Catherine Flanagan. Isaiah Floyd. Joshua Goforth. Charlie Gordon. Suzanne Harms. Ingrid Hoog. Nathaniel Haydock. Chris Heuser. Caroline Holland. Han Tong Hu. Wendy Huerta, Catherine Hui, Destiny Jackson, Vanshika Jansa, Tiffany Dian Chin, Samantha Johnson, Neha Kalakuntla, Ashna Karpe, Annika Kashyap, Isaac Clarkowski, Kennedy Coven, Adnan Latif, Grace Lee, Xinwei Li, Phoebe Lovejoy, Sarah Madhani, Rebecca Mack, Nicholas Martinez, Lauren McDougall, Bennett Meekum, Eli Mendoza, Andre Mitrovan, Raul Montes, Marcus Munchie, Anesu Karen Murambadoro, Helena Namor, An Ha Win, Calvin Nilsson, Joseph O'Neill, Esteban Pantoja Puente, Ricardo Pantoja, Rebecca Julie Park, Ashley Pena, Stephen Peng, Sydney Rodman, Max Release, Abhinav Sankaranti, Elijah Schwartz, Ashna Shah, Kayla Shelke, Carla Sipia Ahiolu, Eunice Tan, Stephen Ziyao Tang, Jonathan Tarquino, Nicholas Thevenin, Benjamin Thomas, Cooper Valentine, Saksham Vashish, Samuel Thinker, Rachel Waite, Andy Wang, Camille Williams, Ziwan Vivian Wong, Megan Xiao, Jen Yan, Irpan Abdurrahman, Shufan Vivian Yin, Matthew Jonas, Hetty Yu, Brandon Zhang, Duncan, class of 23, we feel lucky to know you. Take Dunk Love with you everywhere you go. Please be seated.
Before I officially confer degrees, I would like to announce that for the first time in Rice's history, we are awarding a posthumous degree to Cameron Sanamo, a sports medicine and exercise physiology major and member of Martell College Cameron passed away in January with just one semester of study remaining at Rice. She had been tremendously excited to complete her degree, and I am very pleased that the faculty approved the creation of a posthumous degree policy and that we are able to confer her degree today. Will all students please rise for the conferral of degrees? Upon the recommendation of the faculty and by the authority vested in me by the Board of Trustees of Rice University, I confer upon those candidates whose names will appear in the registrar's official list the degrees of Bachelor of Arts, Bachelor of Science, Bachelor of Music, and admit to you all the rights, responsibilities, and privileges appropriate to those degrees. I extend our congratulations to the graduates, their families, and friends and guests. We wish all of you great success and thank you for your contributions that you have made to Rice. Congratulations. Please remain standing for the singing of Rice's alma mater. The words can be found in your program.
To conclude tonight's ceremony, we have a musical salute titled Brass Fanfare, performed by members of the Shepherd School of Music. The musical salute will be followed by a fireworks display. After the fireworks display, the 110th commencement will come to a close. We ask that the audience please remain seated until the graduates have recessed out of the stadium and through the tunnel on the south side of the Rice Stadium. Students will exit to West Lot 5, located along University Boulevard and situated between this stadium and the RUPD building and near Rice Stadium Entrance 4. Many of you probably don't really know what I just said because you're visitors, but if you open up your commencement program on the very last page, you'll see where Entrance 4 is, and that's where you want to go. Guests are requested to please exit the stadium via all gates and make their way to West Lot 5 to rendezvous with graduates. We ask that the graduates and families not gather in other parking lots, but move to their final destinations before taking photos. I would like to extend our heartfelt appreciation to the guests in attendance tonight. Thank you for being here to recognize these graduates and their achievements and for all you have done along the way to help make this moment possible. And to the graduating class of 2023, they say that every end has a new beginning, and so to each of you, best wishes on your new beginning and the road ahead. Be well and good night.
Find my character.